Hi everyone, Jason Guarente here with LMP and LancasterOnline.com. We have a very special guest in the studio here on Queen Street, Adam Kingston, Manheim Township distance runner. Adam, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Adam is the PIAA Class 3A 3,200 meter champion, one of the most difficult races in the state to win. 8:51:25 was the time. When you hear that number, what do you think?
I mean, it was just a crazy race. Going into the race, I knew that Jack Bertram was, he was the guy to beat. I knew that I had this number one because of my district time, but he ran 8:47, which is that's otherworldly. So I knew that I was just gonna try to let him take it out. He didn't. I took it out, and then last 800 was 2:02, which was insane. And then I crossed the line 8:51. That was insane because I knew that broke the LL record, broke the district record, broke the school record, I guess, too. And it was crazy just knowing that I won the state championship and I also ran a crazy time. It just made it so much better.
Adam is the only LL runner to ever break 9 minutes in the 3,200 during the PIAA season. So put that time in perspective. He was 10 seconds faster than anyone. We're talking the greats, Vince McNally, Nathan Henderson. When you see your name with the other all-timers, how does that make you feel?
I mean, it's really cool, especially at my school. We had a huge history of, milers and 2-milers. The Miller twins were insane. And I remember freshman year, I checked our record boards and 1-2 every distance event was both the Millers, and that's just a crazy thing to finally be up there with them. And then even in the LL, we have all those other guys. Even Colin, I ran with him last year, and then he took the LL record for about a year, and then getting it back was really cool because he's doing crazy things in college and doing crazy things in the LL, and then just to be on top is insane. I wouldn't have even dreamed of doing this when I started in 7th grade. I was barely on the varsity team in middle school, so it's crazy to be at the top of the LL as a senior. It's just, I'm really blessed.
The Miller twins are Craig and Brad Miller, who ran at Township in the early 2000s. Colin Whitaker at Lampeter-Strasburg, last year's one of the best runners in the state, is at Notre Dame now. So you've run with the best and you've chased the records of the best.
Yeah.
You mentioned middle school. That's when you started track.
Yeah.
What was it like in the beginning for you? It sounds like maybe a little bit tough go.
Yeah, I mean, I started cross country because my brother Gray did cross country. My mom also ran in high school, and I thought it'd be really cool. At the time I was playing for MT Elite Soccer, and I was kind of done with soccer. I was getting tired of having to drive this, that, and everywhere for games. So I was like, I'll just try running. I kind of want to be like my brother because he ran, and I made the team as a 7th grader, which I think everyone does, and I just barely snuck in that 7-8 slot to make the Iron Bridge meet at the end of the year. And then 8th grade year for cross country, I improved 1 second from my 7th grade year. I think I ran 12:45 maybe for 2 miles. In 8th grade was my best. And then of course during track, my 7th grade year was canceled from COVID. Then I ran 8th grade track. I think I was 5:30 and 2:30. It was just, it wasn't anything crazy. It was just running was something I did for fun. Then I hit high school freshman year. I dropped a minute off my mile time, which is absolutely insane. I don't know how I did that. And then I dropped I went from 12:45 to 9:43, which is, I was shocked by that. I was like, that's insane. I made freshman nationals, but I didn't go just because I didn't realize I made it. But it was really cool just to go from someone who just barely made the cross country team varsity as a 7th grader to now leading my team and leading the LL. It's really inspirational. I'm glad I could be one of those faces to represent my school and represent the LL.
You mentioned the mile. You've run a 4:09 mile, which is
Yeah.
also one of the top 5 or so times in LL history. So the longer race and the shorter race, you're great at both of them.
Yeah.
Running's hard.
Yeah.
Running is painful. Running is mentally taxing. Why do you put yourself through this? What do you like about it?
I just think it's so rewarding when you finish, because you put yourself through such a hard race. It was, whenever you start a race, you feel good for about one lap, and then you don't. I just really like the way you feel at the end. You have all the adrenaline. You have the crowd cheering for you. You cross the finish line, and when you get that mark that you want, it's just the best feeling in the world, because you work so hard at practice. You work so hard leading up to the race. You're eating well. You're sleeping well. You're doing all the right things, and then you just finally get to race day, and it all pays off, and it's amazing. Like, I ran a race the Monday after States. I ran a full mile. It was at John Hay, and there were pacers for the first 1,000, which was, that's really nice. And I came through like 2:32 through like 1,009 meters. And then I just fell off the pace so hard because, running's just, that's what it is. I ended up running 4:07, I think, for a full mile, which is like 4:05 high for a 16. So I just barely missed Craig's record, but it was really cool, because I got to feel amazing during the race, and then pretty much as soon as the race over, I couldn't stand. So I'm just super happy that when I finish, that's what running's all about. It's all about pushing yourself farther than you could go and seeing what happens.
You are the Craig Miller or Brad Miller for the next kid, whoever that is. Maybe there's some middle school kid out there who wants to run. Have you thought that he'll look at your name and your numbers and he'll chase you?
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. When we did, like this past week, we had graduation, and our school does a cool thing where we walked through our elementary school we went to, and then we walked through the middle school as well. And I think it was really cool because I would walk through the middle school, and they're kids I had never seen before, and they're like, "Hey, Adam, over here, give me a high five." And it was really cool because I didn't realize it didn't really process in my mind that I was once that kid looking up to Brad and Craig and Evan and all those guys, and then now there's kids looking up to me and wanting to do the same thing. It's super cool to be a face for the next generation. I know and I hope someone breaks my record, so we can keep the Township milers going. But it's just crazy to me that I'm going to be the next person up in my school and in the LL, and I don't know, I'm just blessed. It's amazing.
You're going to Penn State. That's your running future. What do you want to get out of the next 4 years?
Well, I'm studying to be a mechanical engineer, which I think will be a good fit. I really love physics. I really love calculus, and those really go well together for engineering. And also on the cross country team and track teams, I think we're really building a strong program. Coach Gondak's doing a really good job. This year, he recruited 4 guys for distance. It's me, Jackson, Michael, and Isaac. And of those guys, Jackson and Michael went 1-2 at States in the 32 for AA, and then Isaac and I went 1-3 in the 32 for AAA. So, I don't know, in my mind, we got 4 of the top 5 2-milers in the state, and that's just amazing when you put that together with, what they've already got going on. They got great guys. They got Brian. They got Nick Sloff, 2 great, sophomore freshmen. And they also got a great senior class, and I think we're going to fit in really nice, and we're going to do, hopefully compete in the Big Ten with Oregon and Washington. They joined the Big Ten, so they're going to make it a better conference. So I'm excited to compete there, hopefully score some points in the Big Ten at some point.
Penn State keeping it local with their
Yeah.
recruiting, huh? Getting all those guys at Shippensburg
Yeah.
to the big stage of State College.
Oh, yeah.
This is Adam Kingston. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jason Garente with LMP and Lancaster Online.com, one of the best to ever do it in Lancaster Lebanon League distance running. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.